Secrets of the Sussexes, let's go. If you thought London laid out a red carpet for Harold the Comeback, here's your cold shower at royal protocol minus emotion. Harold the Hapless rolled into Clarence's house as if this were the reconciliation scene and rolled out wearing the face of a man just told the return fare is on him. Not anger, not faux reflection, pure, unmistakable, credit denied. Welcome to the place where coffee isn't served for the camera and tea isn't topped up to by agreement. Let's skip the melodrama. The meeting happened. No hugs on the steps. No accidental corridor quotes. British dry. Judging by the day's rhythm, no more than 40 to 55 minutes inside. Half of that easily gets eaten by everything that always surrounds Harold: checks, security, corridors, and the kind of silence where you can hear someone else's patience tick. The words, if there were any, could fit in 20 minutes. That's enough for adults to name a price and see if there's a deal. From Harry's face getting back into the car, there wasn't. What did he want? What he always wants, by list. Money, not as a handout, but an investment in safe presence. Status, not as heritage, but as a market signal. Security, not as a framework for a visit, but as a condition for the conversation. Plus a little vent in the optics so he could sigh. We're a family, we talked, we found common ground. The problem is Harold's common ground has long been an instruction manual, not an intonation. He arrives with a spec sheet, every request a clause, every emotion a caveat, every yes footnoted with provided that. And that provided that once again acted like a mine. Talks about trust explode first. Watch the exit shot. No psychology degree required, just memory. Harry looked like this when No landed on home turf when he was a boy. Like this after losing a case he thought the world would step back for. Like this after those rare London days when home turned out not to be a hotel or a set, but a place where nothing's wanted from you, except that you want nothing in return. And yes, you could see the shadow of a call to California. Not because she's the villain, but because Harold has a chronic rule: every no at home must be explained at home. Meghan's debrief doesn't write itself. Why there's no money, no conditions, no titles, and why next time is again someday. Context matters. By Westminster logic, Camilla may have been in the room, the very person Harry turned into a plotline in his book. That's life at the negotiation table. After years of twisting people's images in public, someday you drink tea across from them with no witnesses, no monologue, and no editor to cut your weak spots. In 20 minutes of honest talk, you can fit it all: apology, attempted haggling, and a very polite no at the end. The most painful no isn't "we don't love you." It's "we won't buy your terms." The scene was even sharper against the schedule. An hour later, maybe less, Harry was smiling at an Invictus reception. It's like sliding a joy filter onto a face that hasn't thawed from not mutual. You can contort, turn on the warm tone, hold the pause, but lenses don't lie. Photographers catch seams, not sentences. And the seams split. That rain-on-glass stare, the clenched jaw, the hollow stillness in his posture, this wasn't theatre. It was someone counting what he'll pay for another didn't happen. If you're waiting for a flood of insider syrup about magnanimity, embraces, and we understood each other, don't. Sugary soundbites don't change the taste. Sweet words cover bitterness first. The tidy legend of warmth and hope is not the meeting, it's an fore-drip for an image. We may still get choreographed reconciliation stories: a son thanking his father for a minute of quiet, a house opening windows to new air. You can script that. But we already saw the real frame, and it wasn't wind. It was air running out before the kettle boiled. The heaviest part isn't money or titles, it's meaning. What does Harry bring to the table when he asks for opportunities? What will he put his name behind if it isn't his own narrative? How much of his return is for anyone but him? So far the answer is blind: marketing, packaging, the engineered grammar of sympathy. But sympathy isn't the currency that buys status. You get it when you ask not for rights but for forgiveness. And you ask for it quietly: no press release, no conditions, no "I'll tell the world how it went." Maybe for the first time, Harold heard the real bill: your silence is our price. And for the first time, he had neither the money nor the nerve to pay it. That's why no one won. A father doesn't win, sitting stone-faced across from a grown boy with old ache in his voice. A son doesn't win, leaving empty-handed. The institution doesn't win, refusing the candy of let's pretend. The only thing that truly holds is the boundary, the thin, invisible, very British line the house drew once and now guards like skin. Private stays private, and the one who made private public pays a commission on every step thereafter. 4 years. 4 seasons. Until the silence returns. The evergreen question, why not just pay, assign the protection, call Meghan what she wants, his their son? The answer is shorter than you think. Because every gift becomes a precedent. Precedent becomes leverage. Leverage becomes another case where we did it once turns into a pass for the next scene. Public families live by rules, not by feelings. Love survives only inside those rules when you choose them not for the camera, but despite it. A word on the brother front. This week of hope made it plain, William's calendar has no just-in-case blanks. It's all work, each item worth more than any drawing room coffee at St. James's. Not because the elder brother sulks forever, but because he won't act in the series. He won't be the season 2 villain. He doesn't owe plot twists a chance. More valuable than a closed-door meeting is predictability. If today's silence matches tomorrow's, the story might live without credits. If not, it's just another episode he never planned but someone was desperate to shoot. There was a beautiful way to end this play, if Harry could. He could have left Clarence's house and, for once, said nothing. Skipped every room that evening. Taken off the habit of being a plot device. Called home for quiet, not report. Owned the defeat as a win over himself, no begging, selling, or bargaining. He could have been an adult son to an adult father. But adulthood doesn't come in a security plus PR plus title bundle. It starts with I understand. And continues with the hard I won't talk about this again. For Harold's fans, this sounds harsh. The harshness isn't in the words, it's in the fact, the world no longer plays by your rules. Your rules work for interviews, books, cameras, interviews about books and cameras about interviews. Houses run on others. When you bring your Pacific Coast playbook to the Thames, they show you it doesn't fly not from malice, but because love is the one thing you can't monetize after. Here's the moral. Silence is worth more than a title. If you want a son, you ask him for quiet, not curtsies. If you want a father, you arrive without a price list. If you want a family, you stop turning it into a series. Maybe then you'll hear the same click of the handle from inside, and walk in not as Harold the Noise but Harry the Son. Until you're holding a calculator of optics instead of a cup of tea, the ending will stay the same, 55 minutes at Clarence's house and an eternity alone. Tick-tock, Harold. Tick-tock.